The young man simply took a jade pendant out of a bowl of instant noodles. Little did he know, the next second he was transported straight to ancient times. And it was a year of famine. Even crazier, the bowl of instant noodles followed him through. Before he could react, a famished couple, thin and haggard, came up and handed him their daughter's hand, then forcibly took the bowl of noodles from him. The young man stood there, completely confused, not understanding what was going on. He never imagined that right after being betrayed by his girlfriend, he would suddenly gain an ancient wife. After a brief shock, he started thinking about how to return to his original world. In a panic, he instinctively touched the jade pendant on his chest. The next moment, he and the girl disappeared together. When he opened his eyes, he was back in his modern home. It was only then that he realized the jade pendant had the power to travel between two worlds. This also meant that his chance to get rich had arrived. Looking at the wife he got in exchange for a bowl of noodles, he decided to go with the flow and told her that this was the immortal realm in his home. He also warned her to never share this secret. He then gave her a name and told her to wash up. Meanwhile, he stayed in the kitchen thinking about how to use the jade pendant to change the situation in the ancient world. Unexpectedly, while holding the jade pendant with one hand, his other hand, which was resting on the water kettle on the table, made it disappear out of thin air. The young man was stunned and touched the pendant again. The kettle reappeared on the table as it was. That back and forth made him realize that this jade pendant not only traveled between worlds, but also stored supplies. With this in mind, the young man immediately went online and bought a large amount of near-expiry food. When the goods arrived the next day, he took the woman and returned to ancient times. As soon as they landed, the cold air hit him. Looking around, the streets were desolate. People were starving to death, fighting in the streets over food. The young man realized the situation was not simple. The woman then explained that a great drought had hit. The rice prices in the city were raised to sky-high levels by the three major families. The common people could hardly afford any food. After hearing this, the young man had a plan. He went straight to the steward who was selling rice, and offered to supply food to the people. The steward, naturally, didn't believe him, but the next moment, the young man took out dozens of sacks of rice and offered to sell them to the people at a low price. To his surprise, the steward immediately turned hostile, demanding that the young man sell all the rice to him. The young man agreed but said the price was no longer $1. It was now $800, the same price he offered to the people. The steward hesitated but finally agreed, gritting his teeth. Gold was brought in for the deal, but as soon as the rice was in hand, the steward raised the price to $1,000. The people immediately became desperate. At this moment, the young man stepped forward and told them not to worry, saying he still had 10,000 pounds of rice in his warehouse, and it would be sold at the same price as before, $1 per liter, so everyone could have some. This immediately made the steward furious. The people rushed to the young man to buy rice, and it was quickly sold out. Then, the young man used the gold to buy a large mansion in the city. After deducting the cost of the mansion, he still had 200 pounds of gold. Finally, the young man returned to the modern world with the gold. He immediately contacted his friend who owned a gold shop to turn the gold into cash. To his surprise, his friend was stunned after seeing the gold. From then on, the young man used that gold to achieve financial freedom.